Hey guys, Crystal here from Elite Hair Care USA. So we have my client here where today we are going to be doing a service that we call the works. She'll be getting a silk press, condition. We're also going to be doing a color to cover up some of her salt and pepper. And then we're gonna detangle her really well. Now, if you guys can tell, her ends are kind of straight, but her hair is very thick, you guys. So I physically could not put my fingers all the way through her hair. So that tells me that she has super thick hair, or we can also use the word density. So this video is really gonna show you guys how to work with your hair when it is very dense like this, how to better manage it, coloring, a couple of pro tips. So we'll kind of talk about everything today as a whole, and then you guys will get to see beginning to end the style unfold. So you guys sit back and relax and watch the show. Hey guys, so to start off this process, I used our Soothe and Balance pre-treatment because she had a lot of buildup on her scalp. It did not help that her hair is what I'm going to consider very matted at the root level. I thought it was just pure thickness, but to be honest, you guys, her scalp or root level was not detangled at all. I really didn't notice it until we were at the shampoo bowl, mainly because her ends were definitely detangled, but I could not part her roots. And as I started to split her hair, I started to notice that it was super matted. So I'm using the Soothe and Balance pre-treatment to, number one, help to break up a lot of the buildup on her scalp. Number two, to kind of help release a lot of that tangling that's happening at the root level as well. But I do have to tell you guys that this service today was extremely backbreaking. Her hair ended up turning to almost dreads. It was, you guys have to really watch to the end to see this total transformation. So after the first shampoo, which in the shampoo I did give her a nice scrub. Remember, her hair was basically, I call it singed at the root level. Later on in the service, I actually found out that she had gotten a relaxer a while back, but her relaxers don't seem to take as well. So all of her hair actually looked very natural to me. So I rinsed her hair out with warm water. Definitely at this phase of the process, we use warm water. So once I started noticing that her hair was severely tangled, this is also another reason, you guys, why I tell you guys it is super important to brush through your hair on a regular basis. I am not saying that she did not do that, but I want to use this as an opportunity to make you guys understand how important detangling and brushing your hair and combing your hair with a comb and the actual brush is very important, because her hair at the ends was nice and detangled when she came in, but the hair at the root was not touched. And then that caused even more tangling on the hair at the ends. So that's why it's super important, you guys. Now for her second shampoo, I used the Moist Repair, and I want you guys to take note with how much shampoo I used, because that was actually way too much shampoo, in my opinion. I used the Moist Repair mainly because my goal at this point of the process, since I knew that the hair had already started to tangle or mat, was to soften the hair as best possible to help remove a lot of the tangles. So to start the process, I used our scalp agitator. The scalp agitator, while it is for, of course, blood circulation and getting that itch, it is actually a great tool for helping to detangle the hair, because it actually does not tangle the hair when you are utilizing it. It just kind of grazes through. It has the ability to actually detangle the hair even better than some of the wide tooth combs and detangling brushes out there. And it's great to use in the shampoo process. The only bad side to it is because her hair was so matted already, the scalp agitator, it only kind of helped to graze the surface when it came onto her scalp level. But for the free hair, for the follicles that are out, the follicles that were already tangled, it really just kind of glazed over them a little bit, because some of the tangles were so small that it slipped right through the teeth of the scalp agitator. But what I will say is this is definitely a tool that you can utilize, you guys, because it really helped to loosen that scalp area where it was super tight and super matted. But if your hair is already tangled and already starting to dread, you really have to still go stage by stage or section by section and detangle the hair with a wide tooth comb and a couple of other utensils, which you guys are going to actually see me doing that in her service today. My goal today, like I said, was to try to soften and detangle as much as I could without the comb ahead of time, because I knew that this was going to be a task. All right, so after we rinsed her hair out, and if you guys notice, I was rinsing for quite some time. That's another thing when it comes on to 4C hair. The hair is so tightly bound. And she basically said she's ready to cut her hair off when she came in, even before we started the process, because it's just unmanageable for her. So something that I suggested to her was, if she decided that she wanted to keep her hair and grow it out natural, I definitely recommended that she got a very mild texturizer of some sort to kind of help loosen the curl pattern, to make it easier for her to actually comb through her hair and not feel so much anxiety when the time comes, because this can really drive a person to cut their hair off. I've been doing hair for quite some time. This is a regular day for me. But for my client, I can tell you guys that this was very stressful for her, because at the end of the day, you don't want your hair to tangle up. But at the same time, I have to detangle her. And if she was detangling herself, it probably would have taken her the entire day, or she probably would have just cut it off. But, I have my patience. I am ready to take it on. So to start with the treatment, I decided to do a hydration treatment cocktail. So I used the Makita Deep Conditioning Mask from our Impus collection. And then I also cocktailed it with some of our Moist Repair conditioner. Now, you guys, look how much conditioner I'm using. You do not need a ton of conditioner on the hair. I'm going to tell you guys right now. Conditioner helps when your hair is tangled. But saturating your entire head with a ton of product is not going to help these tangles that are already there come out. You're still going to lose hair. It's still going to be tangled. And it really just depends on the level of tangling that you're dealing with. So I use the handheld hydration steamer, which I know you guys are missing that tool, to do her treatment. And then I utilize that steamer to also help to loosen a lot of the tangles that she had before we even got to this part of the process. But I still had to go through section by section, you guys, and detangle her hair. Some of the tangles or knots were so tiny that it required me to use a smaller tooth comb just to get through them. And it did take me about 30 minutes to detangle her all the way. Now, if you're doing this at home, I guarantee it would not be 30 minutes. But because I've been doing this so long, I've kind of gotten the technique down pat. My speed is a little bit faster. But you guys, tangling is tangling. Now, remember, as I said at the description of the video, trigger warning, because I know a lot of you are super sensitive when it comes on to like hair videos and pulling and all of that stuff. But it is what it is, you guys. Her hair was dreaded. Her hair was locked. And all of that debris, all of that tangling from her root went straight into her ends. And it is how you can't really do anything about it, you guys. So I expected her to lose a good amount of hair because it was so tangled. So that tells me that she hasn't really done much to it herself. And she told me that they detangled it on her way to the salon, but the roots were not touched. So after all of that, that is the amount of hair that ended up coming out. That's from all of the combs, the agitator, everything, which was actually a very good amount. In regards to size, that's actually not much, you guys, for the amount of tangling that she had going on. That was minimal to me, mainly because if your roots are that tangled the way that hers were, that tells me that they have not been detangled in quite some time. And I'm sure she had a lot of residual shedding, which is your regular shedding, that was not able to happen because of that. So that amount of shedding was actually very good, or the amount of hair that came out, that was really good in my eyes, because it could have been 2 times that. All right, so I went ahead and rinsed her out using cool water. If you guys notice, I did not rough her hair up anymore. I was very gentle with how I rinsed her hair because I did not want it to re-tangle. And the crazy thing about 4C hair and even 4B hair, the first thing it wants to do is roll right back into that very comfortable position and retangle, which her hair did retangle almost through the entire process. So that is a characteristic of 4C, sometimes 4B hair. I'm not surprised, but you just have to work through it, you guys, and be as patient as you possibly can. So now I'm actually applying hair color for her. This is a permanent dark brown. And if you guys notice, I'm thoroughly saturating because she does have salt and pepper. And with having 4C/4B hair, that color is not really penetrating as well as it should. So how I do it is I just oversaturate the stubborn areas, which is like the hairline. And then I go through in small sections and I apply the color to the roots. And then at the same time, my reason for applying this type of color is because I know it would kind of break her roots down just a little bit, not in a bad way, but just to kind of help with a lot of that tangling that she's dealing with. After that, we dried her, and then I just utilized my blow dryer, and now I'm going to use some of our frizz tamer and shine serum to start the silk out hot combing process. Now, I did not even use my H2 Pro hot comb for her. I used the old school Marcel stove hot comb because I am dealing with a beast right here. And I love it. I love a challenge. I love my job. I love what I do. I love my clients because she was a trooper. She was really a trooper, and we just kind of stuck it out together. So I went ahead and applied a little bit of the Frizz Tamer and Shine Serum, number one, as a heat protectant, and number two, to kind of help soften the hair as I silk it out. I didn't want to make it overly greasy. We're not doing the old school press. This press really was just to kind of break her roots down a little bit. And I use that term very loosely when I say break her roots down, not literal. Okay, you guys, just figure of speech. And then after I use the hot comb, I would follow it up with our anniversary iron, which is the titanium iron. In a situation where you have 4C hair, 4B hair, 4A hair, typically titanium is going to be your best friend if you are doing any form of silk out. Which I would silk the roots, and then I'll go through with the titanium iron, which is our anniversary iron, and then silk her hair out the remainder of the way. If I tell you guys, the finish of this was miraculous. Her hair was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Outside of the tangling, she has an amazing grade of hair. I love her hair. I love the texture. I love the density, everything. So I wanted to slow the video down so you guys could kind of see the hot combing, to kind of see how the roots look. And after hot combing her, I followed up with the titanium iron. Now, another characteristic of 4C, 4B, 4A hair is that it wants to revert almost immediately. So that's another reason why I used the hot comb, the Marcel stove hot comb, because I wanted to ensure that I was really giving her roots, I don't want to say the maximum amount of heat, but a good amount of heat, because it's really required. If not, her hair is going to revert almost instantly. So that's another reason why I use the hot comb. And then on top of it, because she has not been pressed in quite some time, or even silk pressed in months or maybe years, I don't want her hair to revert back so quickly, especially after all of the work that we did today with the shampoo process and the detangling and all of that good stuff. But I can say that once we started doing the press, once I started flat ironing her or silking her out, all I just saw was just like this breath of fresh air, this relief on her face. And she was just so happy because her hair was very soft. So all of that deep conditioning, all of that we went through today was definitely for a good cause. All right. So I am going to go ahead and trim her up. She hasn't had a trim, so definitely a trim was required for today. She did have some breakage in her crown area. So what I did was a reverse trim, which I always kind of do a reverse trim where I start at the crown and work my way out, because usually my clients are always dealing with breakage in the crown area from neglect, ponytails, whatever. And then I just work my way down, and that allows me to keep a lot of the length. And then, of course, if I need to cut off a lot of that hair that is just dead or split, I can still see it at the same time. So that's another reason for my madness, everything that you guys always see me doing in my videos. But in the meantime of the trim, if you guys want to learn more, I definitely recommend you guys going and signing up or enrolling in our Elite Hair Care University, where I discuss different topics in my classes. I do live virtual classes via Zoom and Google Meets. And then we have our business building classes that are coming up in October. September is all about porosity. So if you don't know anything about your porosity, go ahead and sign up for our upcoming class, September the 7th, on knowing your porosity. And then we have our low porosity class and then our medium to high porosity class, where I'm basically teaching you guys all the ins and outs about your hair porosity, which is the roadmap to basically everything that you do to your hair. So how you can access that, the link is in the description box, or you can go to elitehaircareuniversity.com, www.elitehaircareuniversity.com. All right, so we're almost done with her trim. I'm just kind of going around the perimeter, cleaning it up, and then we are going to style her. Now, I did not use ceramic for her. I used the same Elite Anniversary iron in large sections because I did soak her out. Another reason for me using this iron instead of just the ceramic is because I know that her hair wants to revert. So I hit it with a third round of direct or somewhat direct heat to ensure that her hair did not just roll right back up as it did when we first started. Now, she still is going to revert, you guys. So that's not stopping her from reverting. Really, all it's doing is just giving her just a little bit more longevity. And that's nothing more than that. If you guys are new to my channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Please don't forget to also thumbs up this video. Comment, you guys. Tell me your thoughts on this miraculous transformation from where we started, okay? And now I'm just using a little bit of wax on her hairline because her hairline just literally kept reverting. It would not stay straight for anything under the sun. I hit it with a hot comb twice. I hit it with my flat iron once, and then I had to go back and hit it again with the flat iron. And even then, by the time we were done, her hairline started to roll right back into its way. So that's another reason why I tell you guys the method to my madness, because I know exactly what her hair was going to do. So for her at-home care, she just basically will wrap her hair, and then I recommended that she use a stocking cap to keep her hair compressed and also from tangling. So I use a little bit of Goddess polish to spray on her hair. Look at the density. Look at the volume. Look at the shine. Look at the movement. Just look at everything, you guys. Her hair just came out beautiful. I loved it. She loved it. We laughed after so much, and I was so glad that she was happy with the finished result, because I was over happy with the finished result. I thought that I was not going to get through this service today, you guys, but your girl did it, and she loved it. All the products that you guys heard me using today are also in the description box, where you guys can click the link and find those on our website at elitehaircareusa.com. But like I said, comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. And I appreciate you guys for watching. See you later.